Hello, my name is Michael Ivanchenko. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Kinatico, a Know Your People and Compliance Made Simple solutions company with a vision and mission about powering insights for better, safer workplaces. I'd like to begin by paying my respects to the Indigenous custodians of this land and pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging as I speak to you today from Gadigal country of the Eora Nation. A little bit of history about CV Check. CV Check, now known as Kinatico, was founded almost 17 years ago and was Australia's first digital background screening and police check business, and has progressively grown its reach and its capability throughout that time, learning along the way, growing revenue along the way to where we find ourselves today, with being an end-to-end provider of solutions in RegTech to maintain full workforce compliance at all times, with visibility for organisations to make sure that they are in control of their processes and their needs, and empowering their workers to own their data and remain in control of their data at all times. Our mission is, as I mentioned, to power insights for better, safer workplaces. It's not just about capturing data or storing data, it's about putting it in context, making sure that the reasons that regulatory requirements or compliance processes exist are actually followed. It's not a box ticking exercise. These things matter. Knowing that the medical professional dealing with you is properly qualified, it's properly up to date with all the training, knowing that the process of being followed at a work site to maintain safety for all workers and customers is important. And we know that empowering the role, the value we play for organisations is making sure that this is done in a simple, unobtrusive way. With ever increasing requirements around regulation and compliance, it's very easy for these to start to become either onerous or, for that matter, expensive for organisations and get in the way of why those businesses exist in the first place. Our vision is to make sure that organisations are freed to focus on opportunities in their core business, and first and foremost, where data is trusted. If we don't have trust and validity in information in a digital economy, you cannot have a digital economy. So for us, helping organisations to know their people and ensure 100% compliance in real time, simply is the key word. A bit about our product suite. So key reason why we have renamed the group to Kinatico is that we are so much more than our very successful background screening and credential validation business in CV Check. So CV Check is Australia and New Zealand's premier screening brand in all kinds of screening, primarily at pre-employment for businesses and organisations, and external credential validation. We then have our digital credential passport, allowing not only for workers to store, own and control their information, but also to share it with organisations as they need to prove their credentials or provide the required information, but then do so in a secure way. On-site becomes the user experience for workers in interacting with all of our products. So not only is there a security and a trust element, it makes it much simpler, and as I say, they control their information. Cited is our cloud-based automated real-time compliance monitoring and management solution. This is about putting credentials and compliance in context. It is not enough to simply have the information, store it in a filing cabinet, and then recall it later on when you're going through an audit or having to deal with some kind of incident or issue. Our solutions are about giving organisations real-time visibility and insurance and trust that the requirements they have to maintain compliance day in, day out are actually being followed, and that they can easily perform those tasks, and it doesn't become an overhead to day-to-day operations. And then we also have a logistics and workforce management product, which is very successful primarily in the mining and industrial sector in terms of worker mobilisation and ensuring that when you actually manage the logistics of deploying your workforce, they are also compliant in doing that in the first place. You don't want to be turning up and having a worker turn up at a mine site ready to deploy at the cost of travel, at the cost of organising accommodation, to find out their drilling certificate is not current and therefore not able to be deployed. A little bit about our performance. So over the last year, we grew revenue 51% to $26.4 million. In Q1, we're up a further 9%, $6.9 million revenue for Q1. That was our 9th consecutive quarter of positive operating cash flow, which over last year was $3.1 million. 80% of our customers are repeat customers, and we have over 10,000 corporate customers in Australia and New Zealand. We're an organisation with zero debt and $11 million cash in the bank. We're in a position where we are funding our own growth. We are a tech company that is cash flow positive, cash flow from operating positive, and we continue to grow and enhance our product offering in a sector that is increasingly relevant, increasingly necessary, and at the forefront of organisational thinking. Major growth we've also seen across our products is our SaaS revenue growth, $2.4 million last year, up from $600,000 in the prior corresponding year. And already in Q1, we've seen that jump, and we expect that trend to continue in coming quarters. So a little bit about just on what I mean by compliance and obviously why it's so important. Compliance starts right at the beginning of validating a worker or anybody coming into an organisation. It could be from a third-party contractor for that matter. And that is the full range of pre-employment checks or recurring qualifications needed to be done if your annual driver's licence, for instance, but it may be something like your drilling licence, and a mine site needs to be renewed much more frequently. It may be in any other industry, a legal profession, demonstrating your hours of training and refresher courses are being met. So right across all sectors and all industry components, there is a need around those recurring checks. We then have the on-demand and policy confirmation that actually occur. So whether you've got your induction to site, whether you've got quarterly cyber security or phishing training around various types of cybersecurity or confirmation of anti-harassment policy, these are all things that get captured by the system, validated, and what's more, can be done via the on-site application to make sure that it is unobtrusive, quick and easy and out of the way. And then of course you have the final piece of daily business compliance, whatever the practice and policies and confirmations that an organisation has in place to ensure that they are compliant at all times. Our platform actually allows organisations to have those requirements entered and tracked via the on-site application so that they are captured in real time. You've got the information therefore visible, and before an incident occurs, confirmation from the actual individual that they have performed the required procedure or process. This is all about managing compliance before issues occur. So Kinatico, certainty every day, all about providing end-to-end real-time workforce compliance, whether it is starting from pre-employment and background screening, all the way up to daily procedure and policy validation, and inclusive of workforce mobilisation and logistics. Thank you for your time.